All right, welcome back to another installment of Maximum Life with yours truly, Michael Norman. It's such a joy and a pleasure to be able to share these moments with you. I trust that you are getting the most value out of these broadcasts and out of these streamcasts that is going to help and assist you in accomplishing your financial goals, your life goals. Because what I'm teaching goes far beyond finances. It does. Let me be clear. It does include finances, but it goes far beyond finances because life consists more than the things that man possess. There's more to life than the things that you possess. Okay, so let's clarify that. But today, I want to talk about mastering money before money masters you. Now, the idea of mastering money comes from not from the sense that money is trying to attack you, but it's the lack of money that is the concern of most people. Most people are in trouble because of finances, not necessarily emotional distress, because most emotional distress is linked to financial worries and concerns. So money is a big part of our daily life. It's a major part of our existence. You can't get in a house, you can't buy food, you can't buy a car, you can't buy clothing unless you got it. So I think for us, particularly coming from a Christian perspective, shall I say, that we have to drop this idea that we don't need money, that heaven is going to be our reward. Even God himself says, I desire that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. That is, whilst you are here, not in the by and by, not in the sweet by and by. You know, if you buy into that old country song that says, just give me a cabin in the corner of glory land, I'll be happy. Nothing could be further from the truth. And if you had a cabin in the corner of glory land, you would stick out like a sore thumb because there are no cabins in heaven. Okay, maybe villas, but no cabins. And of course, the scripture says that in my Father's house there are many dwelling places, many mansions, which means you're not going to go to have your own home. You're going to live in your Father's house. You're going to dwell in his Father's house. So, or in your Father's house. So to that extent, I want to deal with mastering money before it masters you, coming to a mindset and a position where you're understanding that money is your servant. And let me start by saying that money is a wonderful servant. It will do everything you tell it to do. It will never talk back. Money doesn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. It won't argue the point. It has no political affiliation. It will work for one just as much as it works for the other. Money is a wonderful servant, but a horrible master. A horrible master because of the fact that many will do ungodly, unconscionable things to get it. And to that extent, we've been conditioned, even in our public school system, since we were children, we were taught to get an education so that you can get a job, so you can go to work for money. Going to work for money is the snare that has entrapped many of us because now we think that we've got to do a certain thing in order so that we can work to get more money. And so we've bought into the concept of getting educated. Nothing wrong with education. I'm not against school system, but you can't find one public school system designed to teach you how to become rich. You're not going to find one because that's not what schools were designed for. The public school system was not designed to teach us how to become rich. Let's just talk in frank terms, okay? It's not designed to teach you how to become rich. It's designed to teach you how to go to work so that you can fortify those who are already rich to maintain their riches. So that's why you go into work for major corporations and manufacturers and things of that nature. While they may pay you a great salary, but they will never pay you the salary that they are making. You'll never have the annual income that the corporation is bringing in. I mean, millions upon billions of dollars, depending on what sector you're in. If you're working in the insurance industry, the insurance industry makes billions upon billions, multiply hundreds, not just 1 billion, not 2, not 10, not 20, hundreds of billions of dollars annually. in that industry. So they're not going to teach you how to compete with them, but they will teach you how to go to work for them. And as such, you're going to be stymied. There's going to be a built-in ceiling where you're going to do well, you're going to make good money, but you're not going to make half the money that the CEO is making. So what I want to teach you and perhaps inspire you to become the CEO of your own life. You become the determining factor as to how much money you can make, when you can take vacations, where you can take vacations to, and how long you can stay. Okay, wouldn't that be a wonderful world that you would live in, if that you become the master of your own destiny without the strings attached to some corporation, some CEO, some manager, some supervisor telling you, I need you to be back. You can go on vacation. Matter of fact, I tell you as a supervisor when you can go on vacation and when you can, and how long you can stay, when you're supposed to be back. Nothing would be more pleasing than to know that you are the master of your own destiny. That nothing's more liberating, nothing's more freeing than to know you have the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, go wherever you want, stay as long as you want, come back whenever you get ready. That's true freedom. Now, that's not what you're going to learn in public school system. As a matter of fact, to give you just a little bit of history before we get into these, I'm going to give you about 8 points, 8 talking points I'm going to give you that are going to powerfully transform the way you think about money. But let me tell you this. The public school system was brought into act or in existence again during the industrial age. It was designed during the industrial age to help train more people to go into manufacturing plants and learn the skills so that they can go to work in these manufacturing plants, so that you can become, again, a driving force in the growth of whether it's appliance, whether it's automotives, like working for Ford, Ford, Mercury, Chrysler, GM. All of these manufacturers need workers. And as such, they have to be skilled workers. They have to be trained to work, and they have to be trained to understand that they are workers. They are not employers. They are employees. They have to be trained. They have to be, the truth of the matter, you have to be conditioned by virtue of the public school system to teach you how to become a good employee. Not an employer, but an employee. So to that extent, you've been taught to the extent that more people will become an employee than employers. Now, that's fine for some people, but for the vast majority of us, we never knew we ever even had an opportunity to do so, to be an employer. We've never been taught. Most of us come from very humble means in the beginnings, so we've never even heard of the different methods whereby we can begin to advance and matriculate from scarcity to abundance. There is a definite way to accomplish that. You saw earlier on, as we were getting ready to come on the air, that our algorithm of wealth, that's my premium webinar that I teach you along with Ken Harper, who's my co-host. We are going to teach you the methods, the means, and the skills that are necessary. That's going to help bring you into a position of wealth. I didn't know. Did you know that now that's happening, of course, on the 27th. I want to invite you to register. I might as well make this a full commercial, right? Join us on the 27th. That's the 4th Saturday, the last Saturday in this month. Join us for the Algorithm of Wealth. You can go to michaelnorman.net. That's my special website that you can sign up to be a part of the Algorithm of Wealth. Go to Michael Norman. The information is in the description below. But go there. This is my premium webinar that I do annually, every year, teaching people how to come into actual means, how to set and position yourself and align yourself with money till you become a money magnet. And then knowing what to do when you get that financial windfall. You've got people who won the lottery, won thousands and millions of dollars, and within a 5-year period, they're actually back to where they started from after having millions of dollars at their fingertips. So we're going to teach you not only how to get it, but how to maintain it and cause it to grow. Go to michaelnorman.net to get in on that. All right. So number one talking point: money is your servant, not your master. Now, you might say, I don't work for money. But the truth of the matter is, most of us have been trained to work for money. So we have to change our mindset in terms of money being a servant rather than a master. Most of us get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. We pull ourselves out of bed. We go in and brush our teeth, wash our face so that we can go to a job so that we can get some money. We can earn a living is what it's called, right? We don't like getting up at 4 in the morning. Some get up at 3 in the morning. We don't like getting up that early to go to a job, but we do it because we want to earn money. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong for doing that, but I am saying that financial breakthroughs, that doesn't happen by virtue of what happens in your bank account. Your financial breakthrough happens first between your ears, between your two divine ears. It's the thing that you think on, the mindset that you carry, that determines the level of wealth that you're going to incur. So when you wake up, you can still wake up in the morning, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, however early you wake up and go to work, but you go to work with the mindset that I'm only getting monies. I'm earning monies on this job so that I can take that money that I've earned and use it in a way that eventually money will begin to get up early while I sleep in. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you can sleep past 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, realizing I don't have to panic because I'm late for work, because I don't have to go into anybody's job, because I've learned how to make money work for me. So money has to be your servant. You have to say, I am the master of money. I get excited about this sort of thing. Sorry. I'm the master of money and money is my servant. So again, if money is your servant, then you need to know how to command money. Because if you don't give money orders, money will give you orders. If you don't learn how to order money, to give it strategic commands and demands and initiatives, then money will tell you what to do. And then you will shipwreck your life. Plain and simple. Number two, the wrong mindset makes you a slave to money. So when I say the wrong mindset, I'm talking about the wrong sort of attitude about money. I'm talking about saying the wrong things about money. So when people say, I cannot afford this, you are literally telling God, I can't afford it. In truth, you're telling God he can't afford it because it is God that gives you the power to get wealth. So when you say, I can't afford it, you're literally insulting the God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the hills. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the galaxies, the stars, the moon, they're all at his command. And yet you, his child, you're saying, after finding out you are a child of God, the God that owns everything, and you're saying, I can't afford it. Then you are making God out to be an illegitimate father. How much more? If your earthly father knows how to give you good gifts, how much more your heavenly father knows how to give good gifts to his children. So he wants you to prosper. So you got to change your mindset. You got to stop saying, I can't afford it. That's got to leave your vocabulary altogether. That whole I can't. You've got to take that T off of can't and say, I can. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That's a good one. All right. So I can afford this. Now, everything that I've ever gotten, let me just say for the record, everything that I've ever gotten that I could not afford, you know what I did? I went and visited. I had spent time with it. Cars, instruments. You know, I'm a musician, so I've got a lot of instruments. But there was a time when I was a musician for years and did not own my own piano, did not own a piano. I used to have to sneak into the university's piano rooms to practice because I couldn't afford and didn't have my own piano. I did that for like, I would say 30 years. And I was playing. I've been playing, I've been a musician since I was 7 years old. But I didn't own my own keyboard till I was around, I wouldn't say maybe 30. Same, right? So it was the mindset that I had that I can't afford it. But once I changed my mindset, guess what? Things started happening. I would literally walk into a music store and I would be the 1,000th customer and just won some sort of instrument. And then I started changing my mentality. I started learning, well, hey, if this visiting thing works, I'm going to start visiting a car. So I visited the Lexus dealership. I drove my little hoopty. I drove it up to Lexus. I was so embarrassed of it till I parked it down the street because I thought if they see me driving up in this hoopty, this is back in the 80s. If they see me driving up in this little car, they're going to laugh me off the car lot. So I parked down the street and walked the rest of the way. Walked into Lexus, and one of the dealership salesmen came up to me, asked me if he could help me. Of course, I'm here, you know, and I'm feigning looking for a new car. I'm looking to purchase a Lexus. So he says, we've got one right here. I think you'll like it. And I remember it to this day. It was royal blue on the outside and peanut butter leather interior on the inside. Beautiful. I sat down in that car. I embraced the leather. I felt the leather. I got comfortable in the seat. I turned the radio on. I handled everything. I touched, felt everything, the sunroof, everything. And do you not know, and I didn't get the car that day. I told him, he said, we could get you in this car today. I said, not today. I'm not here to pick it up today. I'm just kind of doing a little comparative shopping and I'll be back. And lo and behold, not very long from then, we had our first Mercedes. I didn't get the Lexus because I had an opportunity to get the Mercedes, and I happen to like Mercedes. You might be a Lexus person, but I'm more or less a Mercedes person. And as such, what I'm showing you is I took the whole I can't afford it out of my head. I went shopping with no money in my pocket. It doesn't cost you anything to go window shopping. It doesn't cost you anything to go to the mall and look at jewelry, to look at fine clothing. It doesn't cost you anything to drive up to a car dealership, get out and sit inside of a car. I was at the Ferrari dealership. I took my grandson with me and we went and just sat inside some Ferraris and Lamborghinis just to get the feel of it. Because you know what? I might just show up with one of these days. I'm not saying, I'm just telling you how it happens. Everything that I've ever visited eventually showed up in my house. And now I've got keyboards everywhere. We've got several cars. I've had several Mercedes. We've given away Mercedes. God has blessed us. And so what I'm saying to you is not to say something just, in theory. I'm telling you what we've done. And if it works for me, ultimately it will work for you because faith is impersonal. It will work. Faith works for anyone. It's not just a Christian thing. That's why even evil people, that if they operate by faith, those things that they desire will manifest in their lives. Of course, if they're evil, eventually their evil ways will catch up with them. So I want to prosper as a result of doing the right things the right way. So stop saying I can't, okay? You have to affirm money comes to me in abundance and I use it wisely. Say it again. Money comes to me in abundance and I use it wisely. All right. Number 3, money responds to confidence, not fear. Money responds to confidence, not fear. The fear of lack drives people to debt or drives them in debt, to stress, to all kinds of depression and anxiety. Fear. First of all, God has not given us the spirit of fear. So we have to get rid of fear in general. I don't walk in fear of anything or anyone. I purposefully declare, I affirm that I'm walking in confidence. I have no fear. God has given me not the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. And I'll tell you this, if the quickest way to get rid of fear is to learn how to love. Learn how to love even the ones that are unlovely. And the more you walk in love, the less fear will be a part of your life. I'm telling you what I know. And most people will try to, learn how to be less fearful. I'm telling you the quickest way to get there is to love like God says love, walk in love, and fear will begin to fall off your life. All right. So the fear of lack drives people into debt, stress, and depression. Confidence attracts opportunities, ideas, and supply. If you're confident that I'm blessed in the city, in the field, when I come, when I go, every time I turn around, money is coming at them after opportunity after opportunity. I say this every day that I'm so thankful and so grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I am so thankful and grateful for the fact that I am earning $10,000 daily. I say, put a dollar amount. Don't be ashamed of it. Most of us think that's so outlandish, and there's no way I can make $10,000 a day. And you're right. There is no way. If you continue to think with that kind of mindset, you become your own self-fulfilling prophecy. So the more you say, there's no way that can happen. I don't have any means to make $10,000 a day. Well, you never will. It's just that plain. I don't mean to insult you, but you will become your own self-fulfilling prophecy. All right, shall I move on? All right. So you don't work for money. Money works for you. We talked about that earlier. Your paycheck is not your master. Your ideas, creativity, and divine mind produces unlimited resources. You're unlimited. You got to uncap. You uncap your potential. Unlimited increase. The reason that we're not doing more or having more is we've put a cap on what it is we can have. And I told you before, you got to get rid of this. I can't. That's a ceiling. That's a cap that you're pulling on yourself. And you're putting on yourself. And as a result, you are not going to have it. You might as well turn this off right now. What I'm saying is irrelevant to what you, if you don't believe that you can have, you might as well just, if you're committed to that ideology that I can't afford it. I can't have it. I don't have enough education. I don't know the right people. I don't have what it takes. If you buy into that mentality, you will become your own self-fulfilling prophecy. That's just, and you can't blame anybody for that. If you don't tell money where to go, it will tell you where you can't go. That's good. If you don't learn, this is number 6. If you don't tell money where to go, it will tell you where you can't go. Budgeting is not fear, it's authority. Saving is not scarcity, it's dominion. So again, we're not talking about being reckless in your finances, just spending money and throwing money away. Budgeting is actually an act of prosperity. I've discovered people who are billionaires, they're the most ardent scrutinizers of their finances. They don't spend. You would think if somebody like a Bill Gates or Mark Cuban, who are billionaires, you would think they just walk into places, just buy things willy-nilly, just carefree and reckless with their money. But they are very studious. And they pay close attention to budgeting. They watch what they spend. You know who does the opposite? People who don't have money. People who are barely making it. You'd be surprised how many people who are barely making it, but they've got Louis Vuitton handbags, Gucci hats and bags and shoes and all these designers. I guess the mindset is, if I'm going to be broke, I might as well have one luxury item before I die. And if they learn these principles, they won't have to do it like it's the last will and testament for them to have a Louis Vuitton bag or Gucci bag or Yves Saint Laurent suit. You can have that on a daily basis, but you got to do things the proper way. There's an order, there's a structure, there's a system. I say it all the time that success is a system. It's not a matter of happenstance. It's a matter of intentionality. It's intentional. Everything you do must be done with intentionality. It can't be willy-nilly. It can't be arbitrary. It has to have intentionality. All right? So budgeting is not a bad thing. All right, number 7, money magnifies who you, oh, this is a good one here. Money magnifies who you already are. That answers the age-old question about whether or not money changes someone. Money does not change you. Money magnifies you. That's right. Money does not change anyone. Money magnifies who you already are. So if you've been fearful, money is going to amplify that fear. Money will magnify it. If you're confident and generous, money will magnify your generosity. If you've never given it, I mean, if you've never given anything to anybody, and you have a very close-fisted kind of economic fiscal attitude, well, the old saying is true. Closed mouths don't get fed. Closed hands don't get blessed. It is more blessed to give than it is to receive. If you are a giver while you're in lack or scarcity, then you will be a giver when you're in a time of prosperity and abundance. When you're in abundance, you're going to be just as giving as you were when you were in scarcity. So money doesn't change anyone. Money only magnifies who you really are right now. So that's why I always say you've got to prepare for wealth. You got to get mentally prepared for it, okay? You got to get spiritually prepared for it. Because if you're not ready for it, then you're going to give in to all kinds of deviant and lower lifestyles that doesn't add value to your life. Okay? So you got to get mentally prepared. You talk about wealth. You talk about millions. You talk about, add it to your conversation so that when the conversation around millions of dollars come up, it won't feel strange and outside of you, or something that you're not associated or affiliated with. It won't be strange and abstruse to you, okay? Get used to talking about millions. Get used to seeing millions. Write it down on your desk. Write it on your tablet and put it on a piece of paper. Make out a check for $1 million and put your name on it and put it on the wall. This is what I did when it came to our car. When we got our first car, I went and got posters and put it on the wall of our bedroom. And so that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I saw was that poster of Lexus and Mercedes on our wall. And the next thing you know, not the next day, there's some time that's got to play its part. But I'm telling you, in a short period of time, those cars started showing up at my house. And I've had every dream car that I've ever wanted, with the exception of a Rolls. And I don't know if I even want that now, but I'll take one. I'm not going to resist one, but I've gotten to an age now where all those wild exotic cars I've always wanted, like Lamborghinis and Bugattis and that sort of thing. It doesn't move me right now. I'm not in a place where it moves me. But I'm telling you now, every other one of them they've shown up at my house, and they will continue to show up because I believe in the power of making declarations and making your request known. Make it known. All right, let me move on. Last one. The master mindset. This is what I wrote. Money is constantly circulating in my life. It comes in increasing quantities from many sources continually. I am the rich child of a loving God, and I master money. So again, I master money. Money doesn't master me. It is my servant. I am not its servant. And when you change that, that's why you got to do this mentally first. It is dangerous to have wealth without first being wealthy here. You would rather have money in your mind. You would rather be wealthy in your mindset before it ever shows up in your bank account. Because wealth actually does not begin in your bank account. It begins in your mindset. So I trust something has been said that will bless you and edify and build you up and let you know that it is God's will that you prosper and have life and that more abundantly. That's why we call this broadcast Maximum Life. And I want to invite you to be a part of my next upcoming webinar happening September 27th, 9 a.m. It's the algorithm of wealth. You can register now by going to michaelnorman.net. Your financial destiny awaits. This is your opportunity to learn, to understand how money works and how you can begin to master money, and money will not master you. From this day forward, money is your servant. I've got more information in the description below, all kinds of information that's there for you. Please take time to read it and take action on it, okay? Faith without works is dead being alone. So put some feet to your faith and walk into maximum life. Until next time, blessings to you.